Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we're gonna dive headfirst into another collection of scary stories. There are a lot of great ones in this batch, so let's go ahead and dive right into our first story. Our next story comes from a Reddit user. I was working security at an outdoor concert venue about 20 years ago. We had an all-ages show coming up. The opening band was something like Real Big Fish or Less Than Jake, that type of group. And they came in about 2 hours early to check out their dressing room and hang out. They had been touring for weeks and were pretty tired. The lead singer was telling us about how a haunted theater in North Carolina almost killed him because he went back to the dressing room by himself to get something and a chair fell on him from above. He was fine, but shaken up. He said that the spirit of the theater didn't like him. He also told us about how he dreamt about an old manager that passed away suddenly in his sleep a few years earlier. He said that the dream was so realistic that he could still hear him snoring after the dream. I told them to change rooms since we had extra, and they did. A few minutes later, the guitarist knocks on my office door with a wild look on his face. He tells me that I have to come see something. They had gone to the new room to unpack, and there was a handwritten note on the dresser that read, "Get the F out. You aren't welcome here." The lead singer wasn't there, but I'm guessing he wrote it because it matched his attitude. I ended up moving him again. Apparently, the dressing room that he was originally supposed to be in was where the old manager passed away in his sleep. Not a great start to the tour, but the rest of it was awesome. Next up, we have another Reddit story from a different user. My husband and I used to work together at a motel in college. It was one of those motels with the indoor pool, free breakfast, and attached rooms. One night I was getting stuff from the office and heard a blood-curdling scream from one of the rooms. I stopped and listened. It was followed by a man sobbing uncontrollably. Being young and stupid, I told my husband about it and we decided to investigate. As we got closer to the room, we started hearing chains dragging metal motels. You know, don't have connecting doors between rooms. So we were stumped as to where the noise was coming from. We stopped outside of the room and listened. The noise came from inside. So we tried to open the door. It was locked. We knocked and yelled, "Hello, are you okay?" Then we heard the chains dragging again and the distinct sound of dragging metal bed frames being moved around. We run. And now, for our last story, which comes from another Reddit user. I worked at a beachside hotel when I was in high school. There were a few buildings, and mine was the farthest away from the main lobby and restaurant. I remember it being about 1 a.m., and I was on my way back to the employee housing after my shift. I usually walked down the middle of the row of buildings, so I could talk on the phone and walk at the same time. Well, on this night, the main lights to that row of buildings were out, so it was pitch black. I was walking along and talking on the phone with my roommate when I heard what sounded like screaming in the distance. I assume it was kids being rowdy, and I kept walking. Then I heard screams right outside of me. Obviously, I freaked out and hung up the phone and started running to my apartment. I was absolutely positive that somebody was out to get me. As I passed each building, the screaming continued until I reached my door and slammed it shut. Safe to say, I slept with the lights on that night. Next day I asked around and found out no one else heard anything. I think about that to this day and wonder if it was a warning of sorts. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode. Let me know your thoughts. Are you like me? Do you avoid these types of stories? Or do you love watching these videos and listening to these stories? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe so you can stay updated on everything. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the flip-flop. Bye.